F1 Manager 24 grid changes every race. Season 2, the 2025 season for the 2025 Monaco Grand Prix, round number 3. This is the driver lineup for this next race on this series. So we've got Lando Norris at Williams alongside Lewis Hamilton. These are the top 2 in the championship. We then go to Max Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda driving for Audi. Charles Leclerc and Oscar Piastri will be driving for Alpine this race. Then we have Fernando Alonso and George Russell at Haas. At our team RB, we have Valtteri Bottas and Stoffel Van Dorn. Going to Mercedes, we've got Alexander Albon and Carlos Sainz. Aston Martin have Pierre Gasly and Daniel Ricciardo. Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll will be at Ferrari. Esteban Ocon alongside Nico Hülkenberg at Red Bull, and Zhou Guanyu and Liam Lawson at McLaren, the quickest team on R&D at the moment on the grid. So we're going to manufacture some chassis upgrades going into this one. Then we're also going to, I believe, refurbish the team hub, just kind of trying to, get some facilities going a little bit here, because we do have a few that need upgrading or refurbishing. We're then going to manufacture, I believe that was some front wings or something there. And then, yeah, I think we did one quickly so we could get it for this weekend. And then once that was done, did the other 3 just on kind of the normal speed, and then put a couple of parts on the cars as well. And that is it going into this race. Not a whole lot happening going into this race at Monaco. First time racing at Monaco in F1 24. Now our car is very quick, rank on grid 5th and 6th. It's saying we only need like 13th and 16th or 15th and 16th, so we're going to go for that because we should be able to get that. Our car is very suited to this race, and as you can see on R&D going into this race, we do have the 6th quickest car generally, but I think just for Monaco in general, specifically for Monaco, we are looking very good here. McLaren still at the top, Red Bull catching them back up again a little bit after their dip last race. Then Mercedes just overtaken Ferrari for 4th quickest on R&D as well, so we'll see if that comes into effect at all there. As we get into Q1 with both of our drivers, our first lap would be our best lap for our drivers here, at least for Valtteri Bottas, who we're looking on board with here. And unfortunately, actually, despite having such a good car, Van Dorn is out in Q1, 18th. He did not get a good lap together at all. It was a terrible lap for Stoffel Van Dorn, and he's out P18. That is not where you want to be in Monaco of all places. So, yeah, looked like we had a good car here. Not so much for Van Dorn. Both Williams and then an Audi, Van Dorn, and one of the Aston Martins out in Q1. Now Q2, see what we can do here with Bottas, because he had a very good lap time in Q1. So can he, I mean, he should be able to get through to Q2 here. Generally, our car is just on kind of the cusp of getting through to Q2, but it looks like we have a good car for this track. So he should make it through, really, to Q2. Van Dorn just had a bad time, and sure enough, we do make it through. It's actually Leclerc and Piastri in the Alpines, Verstappen and Gasly in the other 2 Audis and Aston Martins, and Nico Hülkenberg in the Red Bull, who does not make it through to Q2. He was quickest in Q1, but the Red Bull driver for this race is out in Q2. That's a little bit of a shock. So you've got both McLarens, both Ferraris, both Mercedes, both Haases, and then 1 RB and 1 Red Bull into Q3 here. And we'll see what Bottas can do, because he's quietly looked pretty comfortable here. And of course, Monaco, of all the races, if you want to be starting higher up the grid, this is the place to do it, because it is very difficult to overtake. It's not quite as bad on the F1 Manager games as it is in real life, because they tend to go for crazy moves sometimes, and it looks like you're not going to get a move, but the game just jankily lets them make the move. It's a bit weird like that, but even still, getting pole position or high up the grid here would be massive for whoever can get it. I think pole position is going to be a little bit out of range for us here in the RB. But judging that by that performance, we could be like P5 here. I mean, we have like the 3rd best car for this race, presumably. So as we cross the line, it's a green final sector, but weirdly enough, we actually do go quickest, and we will be starting on pole position for the Monaco Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas in an RB on pole in Monaco. I did not expect that. I thought maybe top 5, maybe top 3 if we got a really good result in. But pole position, it was very close between myself, Sainz, and even Lawson there in third. But I didn't really quite expect that. That is a damn good result. Can Bottas hold on for a win in Monaco here in F1?
The streets of Monte Carlo are ready as the drivers now prepare for 78 laps around this historic track.
Monaco can hand out unpredictable results, just like in 1982, when 4 race leaders hit trouble. Riccardo Patrese eventually claimed the win after managing to restart his stalled car by himself with a downhill bump start.
The world's most famous street track, Circuit de Monaco, and it demands total accuracy from teams and drivers alike. Pit stops are crucially important for passing here, so timing them right can be the key to victory. It's race day with the teams and drivers ready and raring to go.
Right, so starting on pole for Bottas, P18 for Van Dorn. Quite the difference there in starting positions, but it is a simple one-stop medium to hard. Quite a lot of tyre wear, it looks like. We're only just going to get through on those medium and hard tyres, but that's what the game's telling us we can do.
Well, it's great to have you with us, folks, as we settle in for the weekend's Grand Prix action. The RB driver has got a lot of people talking.
It's going to be difficult for them. P18, that's going to be tough to make an impression on the race from there.
Here we go. It's time to go racing. We're here and the streets are abuzz at the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Here we go for the Monaco Grand Prix. The lights didn't actually go out there, but anyway, we've started the race, and Bottas has managed to keep the lead into turn 1. That is big. It looks like Van Dorn is scrapping behind, possibly up to 17th, ahead of Hamilton in the Williams there. So it looks like he has made a position up in this race, maybe now just made another position on Leclerc as well. So Van Dorn having a decent start here, and it is a good start for Bottas as well, keeping the lead from Sainz at the start of this Monaco Grand Prix. What can he do for the rest of this race? We're going to have a look at Van Dorn's overtake here on Leclerc. So he'd already got past was it Hamilton in the Williams just behind there, and he slips up the inside of the Alpine as well and gets up another position. So up to P16 for Van Dorn. That is a decent start. Onto lap 3, and Sainz is starting to pressure Bottas here through turn 1, but Bottas manages to stay in front for now. Good defensive driving from Valtteri Bottas here, but being quick as well. It is going to be hard to keep Sainz behind. He is on the hard tyre though, Sainz, so we should have a little bit of an advantage at the start of this one. Now Van Dorn going past the other Alpine of Oscar Piastri there. Beautiful little move for Van Dorn up into P15 now. So he's actually had a decent start to this race to make up 3 positions already. Lap 8, and Lawson's having a bit of trouble running wide there. He's actually managed to get past Sainz, and Sainz has dropped back a little bit now on those hard tyres. Lawson, though, I believe is also on the medium tyres, just like Bottas. So he's now the one hounding Bottas here, and lap 11, he's looking to the inside, but Bottas is just giving him not quite the room to put his car up the inside there, so he can stay ahead. Van Dorn now has Verstappen in the Audi, the next car he wants to get past. Can't get past into turn 1, but it looks like he might be using ERS up the hill here. There's a yellow flag though, as Van Dorn is looking to the inside, not able to do anything. There's a crash. Apparently, it looks like maybe that's Ocon tumbling down the order there. We're going to look at the replay here. Sure enough, we've got Esteban Ocon with one of the Haas's up ahead. I think that might be Fernando Alonso, and he just goes straight into the back of the Haas. Thankfully, he's going to continue on. Maybe a little bit of front wing damage, I don't know. I think the Haas is going to be okay. He didn't hit a wall. He managed to stay out of the wall with that one, but not good for Ocon there in the Red Bull. Could have been a good result for him, but he is now all the way down in P19. And There is going to be no penalty for that, though, apparently, so that's interesting. I guess he didn't really screw over Alonso at all, as now Van Dorn manages to eventually, well, he's around the outside of Max Verstappen in that Audi, and I think he's going to have the better run up the hill, and he's now up into P13. So we're getting closer and closer to the points for Van Dorn, showing that this car does have some good pace here. Now the top three are still really close to each other. Sainz has now managed to catch back up to this group, and he's on the back of them. These guys are 4.5 seconds ahead of 4th place Perez, though, in the Ferrari. But at the moment, Bottas still leading this race. However, on lap 33, he's going to come into the pits for the one pit stop onto the hard compound tyres. I'm not sure if this was maybe a little bit earlier than expected or if it was bang on time, but he's going to come out with some traffic ahead of him. That is George Russell in the Haas, who Bottas manages to sneak up the inside of. Just got out ahead of Liam Lawson there in the McLaren. So he's the one that we're racing at the moment. Sainz is carrying on for a while on those hard compound tyres. Now Van Dorn gets past Ocon, who is kind of in a race but kind of not because of that whole crash thing. Now Bottas is also going to get past a Red Bull, this time of Nico Hülkenberg, who I don't believe has pit yet. So Bottas now back up to P3 again. Hülkenberg does manage to get back past us, so I'm not sure if Hülkenberg has pitted yet or not. I'm not 100% sure, but of course he's in a Red Bull. It's a quicker car than our car, but yeah, Hülkenberg does get back past us. I think there's a little bit of to and fro between these two, which we're not going to show all of that because it's just kind of the same thing over and over again. Looks like he probably hasn't pitted yet. He's on like 32% hard compound tyres. Sainz has pitted. He is now well, we're looking at him there. He's now up to P4, actually. Bottas is back into the lead after everybody in front of him has pitted. Sainz now getting past Perez to get into P3 on lap 49. He's got a 1.5 second gap to chase after Lawson in second. Now Van Dorn's just on the outside of the points here and is going to overtake Daniel Ricciardo in the Aston Martin for P10. Ricciardo, though, is going to go side by side with him up the hill and round the left-hander here. Brakes a little bit later, just like Ricciardo does, and he's going to get back into P10. So it's not quite points yet for Stoffel Van Dorn. He's in an Aston Martin sandwich at the moment. That battle will continue on, as once again, there's now a red flag. What has happened here? There's a red flag for something. I'm trying to figure out what has gone on here. It's Zhou Guan Yu fighting with one of the Ferraris here, and he just spins it round that corner into the wall. Doesn't look like a massive amount of damage, but it's obviously enough that he can't get going again. And we're gonna have to have a red flag and a restart to this race. That is so unfortunate for the McLaren driver in the best car on the grid. So now for the pits, well, we're going to go on to a set of mediums for the end here. That should help us a little bit at the end of this race. I think both drivers are going to go, oh, maybe not actually, can't quite remember, no. We're going to have to go soft compound for Van Dorn. Not sure if that's the call or not, but he doesn't have a new set of mediums.
We're set once more, and soon we'll continue this race. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Very quick lights out here, and as you can see, Bottas is the only one on mediums. I wasn't sure if the softs were going to get us to the end of the race, so I went mediums with him. Van Dorn softs was the only real option, but now I'm wondering, have I made the wrong call with Bottas, because he is on mediums while everybody else is on softs. So we're just going to have to push flat out with Bottas here to try and stay ahead. This could be a bad move for us here. But for now, 2.5 seconds actually ahead of Sainz now. We're just pushing so hard on those mediums. We're actually pulling out more of a gap than we were before. So at the moment, it's looking okay. Lawson and Sainz now battling each other. It's Sainz in second, Lawson in third. Perez is in fourth, and he actually now catches up to Lawson, who's been overtaken by Sainz, and Perez now gets up into P3. So it's all changing here. And thankfully, Bottas is managing to just kind of run away at the front. He's now 3 seconds ahead of the next car, which is Sainz, which is Perez. They're fighting each other up the hill. There's another yellow flag. So many yellow flags and incidents in this race. Perez, though, manages to get up to P2. And it looks like it's Nico Hülkenberg having a crash now in the other RB. This has not been a good day for Red Bull. Sorry, in the Red Bull, not the RB. He just clips the wall there, going through into turn 1. So unfortunate for Hülkenberg. I think he's still in the race, but yeah, not what he would have wanted for this race. He was up in a good position in that very good car on the grid, so very unfortunate for him. Now I made a bit of a boo-boo. I just kind of kept going with Bottas, ran out of fuel, didn't realize until the last second, and we actually run out of fuel right before we hit the line. I decided that I'm not having this. It's my stupidity, but I'm not having the race end like that. So I did the race. I had to re-go from kind of the midway point where I saved. So the order is completely different to what you've ended up seeing so far. I'm sorry about that, but I wasn't going to have that be the end.
And that's the win for Bottas.
And it's thoroughly deserved. A hugely talented driver and undoubtedly a worthy winner.
Yeah, so I just wasn't going to have that be the end of the race. It's my stupidity, but it's still, it's just not the way I wanted to end this one after all that. So Bottas does win. It is then different because Sainz comes second. Zhou does not crash out. He ends up finishing in third. So lucky for him, I guess.
Up goes Valtteri Bottas, joining our podium trio for the weekend.
Their first win of the season, and the team looking on will be very proud, I'm sure.
Always a special occasion here in the incomparable Monte Carlo. They'll be pushing the boat out here tonight, no doubt.
So yeah, Zhou was supposed to not finish this race, but with the restart, when I had to redo half the race, he didn't end up crashing out and ended up finishing on the podium. So I'm sorry for that. The continuity is not great here, but I really did not want that to be the end of the race. You know, we're going to win our first race at RB, and I screwed up with the fuel. So that is what I did. I'm sorry if you guys aren't happy with that, but it's what I had to go for. Hulkenberg also ended up finishing in the points. What else? Lawson finished further down. Sainz still second. He was going to be second. Oh no, actually I think Perez was going to be second, so he drops down to fourth. And there was a couple of other drivers. Van Dorn, I mean, Bottas was going to finish first if I didn't have that issue, and Van Dorn was going to finish 10th. So our drivers at least finish in the same positions that they were supposed to had I not screwed up. So I'm just going to take it like that. In the championship, that actually means that Bottas is now leading the championship by 11 points to Norris now in second. Sainz jumps up to third position, our champion from last season. And it's Esteban Ocon in last. He still didn't score any points because that crash he had happened before that halfway point. So he still had a terrible race and is last in the championship. And Van Dorn, our other driver, up into P14, or down to P14 because he was in P10 by the looks of it, scoring a 1 point there. And Red Bull are still in the lead of the Constructors' Championship over McLaren. RB, we now jump up to 5th place, so that's pretty good for us. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.